Good afternoon, Mr. Levine.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Ingram.
How you doing?
Let's see here. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, let me call the first case for on the record in the matter of Hunter Town Properties versus Eric Bramer, file number 22-02.
For the record,
Sorry,
Brent,
0229. Council appearance.
thank you, Judge. For the record, Brent Ingram on behalf of the plaintiff, P80491.
Mr. Bramer, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Very good. Today was the date and the time that was set for a hearing. My records are reflecting that there's a request to proceed to a trial in this matter.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so the parties are unable to come to a resolution. Is that correct, Mr. Bramer?
That is correct.
Okay. Okay, so you appeared at your pretrial back on March 15th.
Yes, I did.
Okay, you were advised of your rights at the time, but you did not make a demand for a jury trial. So we can set it for a bench trial, okay?
I understand.
Okay, our civil department will set a trial date and they'll mail you a copy of that notice to appear, okay, Mr. Bramer?
Yes.
Thank you,
Do you have any
Judge.
questions at this time? No problem.
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Anything from you, Mr. Ingram?
No, that should be it for the record for now, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, you're all set, Mr. Bramer.
Thank you.
No problem. We're on the record in the matter of Hunter Town Properties versus Letitia Moss, file number 22-043.
For the record, Brent
03.
Ingram on behalf of the plaintiff.
Thank you, ma'am. What's your name?
Letitia Moss.
Letitia Moss. Do you have an attorney?
I do not.
Okay, today was the date and the time that was set for a hearing. There's a request for an adjournment. Is that correct?
Correct.
What is the purpose of the adjournment?
To meet the financial standards within 14 days.
Okay.
Your Honor, that was not my understanding of the agreement that we came to when I talked to Ms. Moss.
Maybe I worded it wrong.
Okay, can you tell me, Mr. Ingram, what you thought the purpose was?
Yeah, I had told her that we were asking for consent judgment and she was not disputing any of the amounts owed at this time, although she did want to have a discussion about the late fees with the office, which I said that we would happily do. However, for today, she's not disputing the amounts, and I agreed to put the writ out to 4/28/23 for her, which essentially would be the 2 weeks that she's asking for. So perhaps she misunderstood or she changed her mind and just is asking for an adjournment. But today we're asking for a judgment, which I believe we're entitled to. This is the second
Okay, so
hearing.
you know what she may have, I think she's saying she thinks she miscommunicated. You know what an adjournment is, ma'am?
Right, yeah, it needs to.
An adjournment means you want a new court date. You don't want to proceed today. Is that what you
No,
want?
that wasn't it. Yeah,
Okay, you
like
want
I
to,
said, I misworded it. We're on the same page, Mr. Ingram.
okay, so you want a consent judgment.
It's okay, is that what that's
Is
called?
that what you're saying?
Yes.
So essentially you're consenting to judgment against you
Right,
and you're not disputing that you owe this amount
right, and agreeing to come up with it within the 14 days.
within the 14 days writ period is what you're saying, correct?
Right,
Okay, so do you understand that you have several rights that you need to give up in order to do that?
no,
Okay, so one of those rights, you appeared for a pretrial, it's like back on March 15th, you were advised of your rights. One of the rights was that you had the right to proceed to a trial in this matter. Do you want to waive your right to have a trial in this case so that you can enter a consent judgment?
So that's where I would be heard.
If that's, yeah,
I'd rather have a trial.
you'd rather have a trial than to, okay.
Yeah, I would like to get it taken care of, but I just don't want to leave it anymore like that. That's my preference.
Okay, so you want to have a trial and have, at this point, you've not made a demand for jury trial. So we set for a trial by judge, meaning I would make the decision, okay?
Okay.
So we'll have it set for a trial date, for a bench trial. You'll get that notice of date from our civil department. It'll come to you in the mail. So pay attention to your mail because you don't want to miss the trial date. And then you get a default judgment, and that means you didn't have your opportunity to be heard by the court, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions at this time?
I know.
Okay, any additional matters, Mr. Ingram?
Just for the record, like I said, I thought we had a consent here. Apparently she had a change of heart, which obviously it's her right to do. I'm not sure what legal issue she's now saying is triable, but it is what it is, so I don't have anything further.
Okay, sounds good. You're all set, ma'am. Thank you. On the record in the matter of Hunter Town Properties versus Jazanique Milton, file number 22-04304 LT, council appearance.
Brent Ingram on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, ma'am, what's your name?
Jazanique Milton.
Okay, ma'am, today's the date and the time that's set for a hearing for non-payment of rent. It says that the parties were unable to come to resolution. Is that correct? Okay, so are you ready to proceed to hearing today?
Yes.
Okay. This is for non-payment of rent. Mr. Ingram, how much is your client alleging that she owed?
Yes, we're not in agreement. Rather, she's saying that there are habitability issues that we don't agree with. So I think the thing to do would be to set this for a bench trial today.
Okay, so you have a counter suit, is what you're saying, for habitability, essentially a constructive eviction or something to that effect.
Correct.
Okay, okay, so then I see you have a nice thick pile there. Is that your evidence, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, so we will set this for or have a separate trial date. Did you meet with legal services when you were here?
I did. She helped me complete an answer to compliance to be ready to be served and filed.
They helped you with that?
Yes, I have it.
And you haven't filed it yet?
No, I just got it yesterday.
Okay.
They printed also back a valid rental certificate.
Okay, have you been in contact with the City of Lansing Housing Ombudsman at all?
No, I
So
I was-
you're planning to file an answer and counter complaint, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you able to file that today?
Yes.
Okay, and then you file it, you get them served, okay?
So, okay. Do I make a note here now that the Hunter Townhomes were tagged by an inspector in February for safety issues or safety violations?
They're currently either red tagged or pink tagged.
Red tag.
They're currently tagged or they were in February?
They were in February of 2020.
Okay, so you're gonna file your answer today. You have it with you?
I have 3 copies with me.
Okay, so you'll file your answer today down in the civil department. You'll get a copy served to the plaintiff. And then whatever one you file with the court, they'll get it to my file. And then they get an opportunity to respond to that. They have to file their answer to your counter complaint. And then that'll trigger your next action date, and we'll get that sent to you through the mail, so pay attention to your mail. You also, while you're in the building, may or may not want to go down to the court floor and ask to speak to Joseph McDonald, who is the City of Lansing Housing Ombudsman. And that he may help be able to navigate some of your concerns or issues there, okay, ma'am?
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll get that set as soon as we get her answer filed and your response or your client's response to her counter complaint.
Right, understood, Your Honor.
Okay. Any additional matters for the record today?
Not at this time, Your Honor. Thank you. And I believe that's it for me.
Thank you. You're all set, and you can go down to the 5th floor to the civil department to file.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good
You're welcome. We gotta probably get them this file down and do that though.
Have a good day, Judge.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bell, that's not on the docket. Yes, it is. Are they present or they just submitted this?
They still submit that early.
So they're not coming. Conditional dismissal.
Agree to that, but apparently there's discrepancy. Defendants were- accurately sentenced.
On the record in the matter of Kurt Civilette versus Matt Garrow and Crystal Garrow and all other occupants, file number 23-00389 LTE, appears for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Nicholas Darlinghouse, number 72150 on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay,
My client is also here.
thank you. What's your name, sir?
Matthew,
And what's your name, ma'am?
Crystal Garrett.
Okay, today's the date and the time that was set for a hearing. This is for an eviction for non-payment of rent. I do have a consent order for conditional dismissal stating that the parties have agreed to a conditional dismissal of the case under the terms below. The case is dismissed without prejudice, subject to the conditions below. Defendant shall pay the plaintiff $9,630 plus $188.92 in court costs, for a total of $9,818.92 on or before April 30th, 2023. If further conditions are that the defendants shall pay the balance or vacate the premise by May 1st, 2023. Well, there's a dispute about this now. Is that
Apparently, Your Honor.
what's the dispute, sir?
Yeah, I have no idea what we're doing. What's the next step? Do we have, what's our rights on the attorney that won't even represent us? She was hired illegally. She reported COVID symptoms and she's pointed. Now we need to know our rights.
Okay, so your rights under this, sir, is that you,
I'm sorry.
you're fine.
He said if you don't sign it, we're gonna be out in the streets, no everything.
Okay, so you have the right in this matter to be represented by counsel. You met with legal services, you said?
Yeah,
Okay, and they were unable to represent you?
yeah, I can't remember the reason why.
She didn't have a job at the time, I think, maybe.
I
don't know.
just started working.
She got a new job.
Okay, I'm not 100% sure why they were unable to represent you, even if you did qualify under the standard. They're limited, so they can't take everyone's case. So it could have been something just as they didn't have the capacity to take the case, so I'm not sure. And we don't have a representative here at the time for me to ask. So the other option would be if you couldn't get advice through them, you could try to go through the state bar and try to find someone else, or try to see if they had any housing clinic resources down at maybe Michigan State Law School, or you can hire your own attorney. But obviously,
It's
for
so
non-payment.
complicated, like, sorry, with
I'm just
like,
advising you your rights right now, what your options and rights are right now. Because that's, so you, first there's the right to be representation. And so you're here without representation, but we advise you of this right at your first court date for your pretrial. The second right that you should be aware about is that you have the right to proceed to a trial in this matter.
Yeah, we didn't know that. We thought we were gonna. Yeah, within days.
Well, if you proceeded to trial or if you had a hearing today and you didn't have any lawful basis whereby you should be able to hold over this property, then they could get judgment and then you could be out in 11.
We have a lot of damages and back pay of what happened here.
So what you're saying is that you believe that there was a habitability issue? Is that what you're suggesting?
It's all the paperwork.
I mean, I have paperwork. I don't know if you want to
It's
see it or not.
evidence.
Well, I don't want to actually see any evidence right now because we're not proceeding. I just want to know what your counterclaim or your defense to this past due rent is. What is your defense?
We had agreements, like I would do some painting and some cleaning up of this deplorable place, and he never came through. He just stick to me. There's plexiglass windows. He said he was gonna replace.
We had to replace the refrigerator. So she did take.
He
money
upped
on
the
the
rent
rent for that.
2 different times.
Okay, so you believe you have a valid defense?
Yeah,
I think-
Okay, so you want to proceed to trial in this matter?
yes.
Okay. You can object, but you can't.
They have the right.
They have a right to a trial. That's one of the rights I just advised them of. Can't object to their rights.
He was trying to swindle us because he said that we weren't gonna have.
You
a
can sit
trial.
down. You have an attorney. He
Okay,
stands
yeah.
up and he makes the objections.
He
That's why you hired him.
he didn't tell us that we're gonna.
Okay,
have-
sir, I'm
yeah.
gonna stop you though, because you're gonna save all that up for a date and time in which we can hear evidence. You have evidence that you share with them, what the evidence was?
I haven't,
Absolutely not.
I haven't done any of that yet.
Yes, we have. We told him everything that was wrong with that place.
No, the evidence that you want to present to the court, because you said because in order for us to proceed at a trial, you're gonna need to have some evidence to support your claim or your defense.
I have the evidence, I just haven't been able to give it over.
Okay, so you're gonna need to do that, okay? We're gonna get it set for a trial date. It's gonna be a trial before the judge. It will not be a jury trial because you didn't make a jury demand within the time allotted, okay?
Okay. Is there? How much time did we have to get a jury trial?
The civil department will set it for my next available trial date.
Is there be any leniency because they denied us counsel?
What does that mean when you say leniency?
Like, would we have a jury trial because they were able to represent us?
Oh, no, you have to, even though you don't know the court rules, you're gonna proceed in court, you gotta get abreast of the court rules so that you know what you're doing. You don't, and I can grant leniency in certain things, because I have that discretion. One of the things that we won't be doing is giving you a jury trial for this, so that, we don't need to call in 7 people, 6 people on alternate to make that decision.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, and so this case has been pending for some time, you were served. Your summons and complaint would have given you one of the things that you were supposed to do, which is to file an answer if you wanted to do that. I don't think we received one. Nonetheless,
I mean, I have an answer thing with me, I just did it yesterday, I wasn't aware. I
you
was
prepared an
supposed
answer?
to- Yeah, I just.
Okay.
I was aware I was supposed to file
Right,
it.
if you're gonna file an answer and or a counter complaint, because I don't know what's entailed, that you do that at the civil department and then you'll serve them with a copy of it, okay?
Okay.
And you're here now, so it's probably best to do it now while they're here, so you can just give it to them, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna cross out this consent judgment so that it doesn't get misconstrued here. I'm sorry, conditional dismissal, that is, and then we'll have notice of your next court date mailed to the address on file, okay? Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Anything from the defense? Okay, you can go down to the 5th floor to file your answer, okay?
Thank you.
No problem.
I'll go down too so I can get a copy of it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, or the record in the matter of Briar Cliff versus Alicia Caston, file number 22-04343LT, council appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Norman Woody appearing on behalf of the plaintiff, Briar Cliff.
Thank you. And Ms. Caston, you're there? She appeared super early today, but you weren't here, otherwise you could have sit there with them. Can you hear me, Ms. Caston?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I can. I'm sorry.
Okay, very good. Today was the date and time set for a hearing on non-payment of rent. Were you all able to come to a resolution?
I'm happy to report that we have agreed to a conditional dismissal in this matter. Your Honor, Ms. Cash has been trying to make some attempts to keep current on her rent, which is very helpful. There's currently a balance outstanding of, we're doing a conditional dismissal here. There's a balance outstanding through April 30th of $4,285.20 plus court costs of $168.97 for a total balance of $44.54.17. We're agreeing that that balance wouldn't be due in full until April 30th. Partial payment wouldn't stay issuance of a writ. It sounds like she's going to be able to chunk that down pretty far, but there might be some of that left on April 30th. And we're agreeing that, you know, if we think we can work with her, we'll try to do that, but we're not making a promise today of that. We're promising we have these rights. But obviously, if we can keep her in her unit, that's the goal. We did discuss her rights under MCR 4.201I. And after that discussion, she authorized me to sign on her behalf, and I'd like her to confirm that on the record. And if I may, I'll approach, I'll give the court a copy of the conditional dismissal.
Yes, please. Okay. Ms. Caston, is what Mr. Woody stated on the record accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I have a conditional dismissal here stating that you are agreeing to pay on or before April 30th, 2023, rents in the amount of $4,285.20 plus other money due of $168.97 for a total of $4,454.17. That's the amounts that you agreed to pay?
Yes.
Okay, you understand that the case will be dismissed today, but if you do not perform in full by April 30th, that they do have the right to request a judgment at that time. You understand
Yes.
that?
Yes.
And you understand partial payment will not satisfy this conditional dismissal, correct?
Yes.
You have the right to have a trial in this matter. Are you willing to waive your right to trial in order to enter into this agreement?
Yes.
Okay, you also have the right to be represented by counsel. You've appeared today without counsel after having been advised of your right to counsel back on March 15th. So are you waiving your right to counsel today?
Yes.
Is anybody threatening you or making any promises to you to get you to waive your rights and enter into this agreement?
No.
Okay. Was there something else you wanted me to address on the record, Mr. Woody?
The only thing I would mention is that it sounds like I wrote the court cost in the wrong way. But
Oh, yeah,
that's my bad.
semantics. I'll just put an arrow
Otherwise, I think we're good.
there. Okay, so lastly, did you give Mr. Woody permission to sign this consent judgment on your behalf?
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, you have 3 business days from today. If you leave here and determine that you misunderstood any of the rights that you just waived, you can return to the court and request to have this agreement set aside, and we can set it for a hearing date, okay?
Okay.
Unless you have any questions for me, you're all set.
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ryan Wujik.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I think you were here on the Edward Rose matter.
That is correct. I got a 2 o'clock, 2:45, and a 3:15. I believe the 2 o'clock was resolved. Just wanted to make
Okay,
sure.
yep, I just wanted to make sure you knew that that one was resolved. And you have a 2:45?
I believe so. 2:45 and a 3:15.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, I will be back at 2:45 then. Thank you.
Sounds good. Okay, I see. Haley Washington.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Okay, and I see you and Mr. Washington are in the same house, so you don't need to be on two separate devices. One is fine, okay?
Okay.
Okay, and then I see Jasmine Hernandez.
Hi, Your Honor.
Hi. And is her Helena Lang?
Helena Lang, yes, she's right here.
Okay, she's there with you. Can you start your video, please?
Yes.
She's busy now.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello, okay, very good. And then someone just joined on a Galaxy A13. Hi,
Hello,
are you Angel Zimmerman?
ma'am.
Okay, is Joshua Zimmerman with you?
No, he's at work right now, so I'm the only person that's here.
Okay, we'll get Mr. Woody on Zoom and I'll meet with each of you, okay?
Okay.
Who's on the Galaxy A13 5G?
Here, hold that for me. Sorry.
Hi, what's your name?
Lakia Lee.
Did you say Lakia Lee?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. Well, they're all here for Mr. Woody, so. Get him all one by one.
I need to call that person back because they called me talking about.
Ms. Zimmerman, are you driving?
I'm in the parking lot. I'm actually about to park my car right now. I had to stop and drop my nephew off earlier.
Okay, because I sent out some rules and they were posted in the waiting room, and one of them is you can't drive in court.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I did not see the rules, but I'm parking right now.
Ms. Welsh, Copenhagen, if you want to go to the breakout room with Mr. Whitty, you're in room 2. You already.
Just joined on an iPhone. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
What's your name?
Leslie Rucker.
Mr. Rucker, do you have an attorney?
No,
You have John Littlejohn or Tajane Mohammed with you?
they removed Tajane last time I was here.
Oh, thank you. Who is the other person on an iPhone? Hello,
Hello,
what's your name?
Diamond Glasgow.
Glasgow, do you have an attorney?
I do not.
Is it Rujic? Ryan Rujic?
Hi, sorry if there was a delay.
Who just joined on the iPhone?
It's still me, Leslie Rucker.
Okay. Ms. Rucker, we're just waiting for the plaintiff's attorney, okay? He's meeting with several other people today.
Okay, Mr. Rujic, are you ready on Glasgow?
Yes, I believe we've resolved the matter.
Okay, we're on the record in the matter of Edward Rose Associates versus Diamond Glasgow and all other occupants. File number 22-03958, council appearance.
Ryan Wojcik, P84535 on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, and Diamond Glasgow, you can hear me, correct?
Yes, I can.
Very good. Today was the date and the time that was set for hearing for non-payment of rent. How are we proceeding, council?
Your Honor, I did have a chance to speak with Ms. Glasgow, and the parties have agreed to enter into a consent judgment of possession only. Be happy to place those terms on the record if the court would prefer I do so.
You should do so at this time.
The parties agree that there is rent to retain in the amount of $3,820, cost of $169.16, for a total redemptive amount of $3,989.16. Ms. Glasgow has agreed to either pay that amount in full or vacate by April 24th, 2023. She does intend to vacate by that date.
24th.
Correct. I did advise the defendant of her MCR 4.201I rights, and I do have permission to sign her name to a consent judgment to that effect.
Thank you. Ms. Glasgow, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so to reiterate, you are agreeing to enter into consent judgment for possession only. You're gonna vacate the property on or before April 21st, or pay $3,989.16, which should include pass-through rent of $3,820 plus court costs of $169.16. And you recognize the rights that you're giving up in order to enter into this agreement?
Yes.
Okay, so you have 3 business days from today. If you leave here and you determine that you misunderstood any of the rights that you're waiving, you can request to have this judgment set aside. So you have to articulate to the court how it was that you misunderstood your rights, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions at this time?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you've given Mr. Wujik permission to sign your name to the consent judgment?
Correct.
Okay. Then you're all set. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor, just one point of clarification. I believe you said that the writ date was April 21st. It is April 24th. So a judgment to that effect will be sent.
Yep, I put April 24th.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Glasgow. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
That was Glasgow. Mr. Woody is on the other ones, and someone just joined. Someone joined named Kanja Sintish.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have a case number?
It's 23003755 PE.
And what is your name?
Kanja Sentish.
Are you a tenant?
I'm the tenant. Yes, I'm tenant.
Okay. Who is Wilfred?
It's my husband.
Margarita? He's your husband?
Yes.
Is he present with you?
He's not here right now.
Okay, where is he?
I don't know.
He's not gonna log in for court?
I'll try to call him.
Okay, who is Camden Pamel? Who just joined from an iPhone?
Leslie Rucker, it keeps kicking me out. My sound keeps going out.
Okay. So were you meeting with Mr. Whitty? No, you were not yet. Okay.
Can y'all hear me? I'm not sure. I can't hear anything on your end. Is my sound going out?
Nope, I can hear you. We mute the court when we're not on the record.
Okay.
Lakia Lee.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I saw a message from you. Who did you want to speak with?
Was there I guess like somebody from the eviction diversion program or an
Okay,
attorney?
Mr.
I didn't
Rosa,
I was
yes.
here last time.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Rosa is our eviction diversion facilitator. He is here. You want to speak with him?
Or I guess like an attorney of some sort did they appoint? Last time I was in court, my phone had disconnected, so I never got to speak to anyone.
Okay, your legal services is not present today. They were here at the time of your pre-trial to provide a courtesy. And then you could have reached out to them on your own, but if you want to speak with Mr. Rosa to see if there's any resources, I can put you in a meeting room with him.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna put you in room 1.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I just got done meeting with Briarcliff and their attorney. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to come back to the courtroom to put the agreement that we came to on record, or if I'm supposed to wait.
Yep, we're waiting for Mr. Whitty to be finished. He had about 5 cases, so when he comes back, we'll put yours on the record.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. Amalia Baker,
I'm here.
do you have an attorney now, ma'am?
No, I do not.
Okay, I'm gonna put you in a private meeting room with the plaintiff's attorney. You ready?
Okay.
Ms. Welsh Copenhaver, Mr. Whitty needs you in room 2.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Can you repeat that?
Can you return to the breakout room? Mr. Whitty is waiting for you in there.
I do not currently have the option to join.
You're not gonna get a pop-up, but you do have the option to join. You have to look on your screen where it says breakout room.
Oh, I'm good there. So I had to change the filter.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing breakout. Oh, just kidding. I found it. Sorry.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mashni.
Good afternoon.
Okay, we do have at least one of the defendants on your matter present, and they do not have an attorney. Did you want me to put you in a private meeting room to see if you could come to an agreement?
Yes, I'll speak with her, but I think the other defendant, I think they may have a different attitude, so I might have to have a default against the other defendant. But I will speak with her.
Okay. Okay, one moment. I'll put you in room 4. I'm sorry, room 3.
Thank you.
Ms. Lee, can you return to a breakout room and go into room 2?
Okay. Hello? I don't know what I did.
Come on, let's see. Okay, Hernandez, we're on the record in the matter of Briarcliff versus Jasmine Hernandez and Helena Lang, file number 0434 LT, council appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Norman Whitty appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, and Ms. Hernandez, is Helena Lang with you?
Yes.
Okay, let me see Helena Lang.
Hello.
Okay, thank you. Today, is Helena Lang an adult?
Yes.
Okay, today's the date and time that was set for a hearing on an eviction proceeding. Mr. Woody, did you come to an agreement?
I'm pleased to report that we did, Your Honor. There's currently rent to retain in the amount of $5,058.26. Court cost of $194.77 for a total amount of $52.5303. We entered into a conditional dismissal, providing that that amount has to be paid on or before April 30th. CAHP has approved payment, but there's an issue that just cropped up this morning regarding the rental license for the property, which is causing a hold on that payment. So we've agreed that if for some reason that hold lingers beyond April 30th, then we're going to extend that April 30th date until the hold issue is resolved. We went over the parties' rights under MCR 4.201I, and both Ms. Lang and Ms. Hernandez gave me authority to sign on their behalf, which I'd like to confirm on the record. And if I may approach, I'll present that conditional dismissal.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Jasmine Hernandez, I need to see both of you and Helena Lang to go over these and your rights.
Okay.
Okay, and so was what Mr. Woody's saying correct? You want to enter into a consent, or I'm sorry, you want to consent to a conditional dismissal?
Yes.
Is that correct, Helena Lang?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the terms of the dismissal is the case will be dismissed without prejudice today, and that you have until April 30th to pay the amount of $5,058.26 plus court costs of $194.77 for a total of $5,253.03. It says here other conditions is that CAP will approve the payment, but it's on hold until the rental license issue can be addressed. Do you understand that to be the terms of your conditional dismissal?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
We understand that partial performance could not or will not satisfy this conditional dismissal, so you have to get it paid in full by that time in order for this case to remain dismissed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you willing to give up your right to have a trial in order to enter into this agreement?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're also willing to give up your right to be represented by counsel in order to enter into this agreement?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You have 3 business days from today to return to the court. If once you leave here, you determine that you misunderstood any of your rights and you want to set this for a hearing, you would just have to articulate to the court how it was that you misunderstood your rights. Do you have any questions today?
No, Your Honor.
No, ma'am.
And you're both given permission to Mr. Woody to sign your name to this agreement?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you're all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, there's 2 people on my way. They are not for Mr. Woody. We're on the record in the matter of Briarcliff versus Terrion Washington and Haley Washington, file number 22-04348 LT, council appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Norman Whitty appearing on behalf of Briarcliff Apartments.
Okay, we have Haley and Terrion Washington present via Zoom without counsel today. Today was the date and time set for hearing for non-payment of rent. How are we proceeding on this?
Your Honor, I'm pleased to report the parties have agreed to a conditional dismissal in this matter. Right to retain possession is $6,143.46. Court costs are $194.77. Total amount would be 6338.23. And we're agreeing to that being paid or them moving by April 30th. We did discuss the parties' rights under MCR 4.201I. And at that point, after that, I did get consent of the defendants to sign on their behalf on the approach.
Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Washington, is what Mr. Woody stated accurate?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I have here a consent order for conditional dismissal. It states that you are agreeing to have this case dismissed without prejudice today, and that you agreed to pay on or before April 30th, 2023, the amount of $6,143.46 plus $194.77 for a total of $6,338.23. That's accurate?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, and you understand that partial performance will not satisfy this agreement, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you gotta pay the full amount by April 30th. You recognize that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you have to give up a couple of rights in order to enter into this agreement. One is the right to be represented by counsel. Are you gonna waive your right today so you can enter into the conditional dismissal?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, and are you also waiving your right to have a trial in this matter in order to enter into the conditional dismissal?
Yes.
Yes, sure.
Okay. You have 3 business days from today. If you misunderstood any of the rights that you're waiving, you can request to have this agreement set aside and we'll set it for a hearing, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Lastly, did you give Mr. Woody permission to sign this agreement on your behalf?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any questions today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, any additional matters for the record? Mr.
Nothing.
Woody? Thank you, you're all set, Mr. and Mrs. Washington.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Well, on the record in the matter of Briarcliff versus Angel Zimmerman and Joshua Zimmerman, file number 22-04353 LT, council appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Norman Woody appearing on behalf of Briarcliff.
Okay, and I think we have Angel Zimmerman present. Mr. Zimmerman did not appear. Today was the date and time set for a hearing for non-payment of rent. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I'm pleased to report I have a conditional dismissal to present to the court as to Ms. Zimmerman, and we have a default judgment as to Mr. Zimmerman. The agreement with Ms. Zimmerman is that she would have until April 30th to pay rent in the amount of $4,732.24 plus court costs of $194.77 for a total of $47.2701. We did discuss her rights under MCR 4.201I. After discussing those, she agreed to allow me to sign on her behalf. If I can approach, I'll present the conditional dismissal default and default judgment.
Okay, Ms. Zimmerman, you understand what Mr. Woody just stated?
Yes, Your Honor.
No time. Okay, and that's accurate that you are entering into a conditional dismissal whereby you agreed to pay the amount of $4,732.24 plus $194.77 for a total of $4,927.01 on or before April 30th.
Yes, ma'am. I thought it was for me to move out on or before April 30th and set up a payment arrangement as well.
So that we're clear, Your Honor, I did explain to her that if she vacates prior to that date, then we would not seek a judgment. And she's also but we didn't ask for a money judgment in this case, so she's not required to have a payment plan in order to not have a judgment enter in this case.
Okay.
We would welcome her setting up.
Okay, that's accurate.
I'm
You
sorry.
understand that now? Oh, you're fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you are willing to give up your rights to have a hearing or a trial in this matter in order to enter into this conditional dismissal?
Yes, ma'am.
You also give up the right to be represented by counsel in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you understand that partial performance will not satisfy this agreement, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you have 3 business days from today If you leave here and determine that you misunderstood any other rights that you are waiving, you can request to have this agreement set aside and we'll set it for a hearing, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you give Mr. Woody permission to sign your name to this agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Okay, then do you have any questions at this time?
No, I do not.
Okay. Default judgment as to Mr. Zimmerman will be granted for failure to appear.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor.
Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing for plaintiff, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're all set, ma'am.
Okay. You have a great day, Your Honor.
Same to you. We're on the record in the matter of Briarcliff versus Leslie Rucker and John Littlejohn and Tajane Muhammad. File number 22-04349 LT. Appearance for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Norman Woody, appearing on behalf of Briarcliff Parcel.
This one is still here.
Now we're going to dismiss this because it's paid in full.
Okay. So I won't look further. I don't know if she's still here. Leslie Rucker still here? Okay, looks like she's gone. On the record in the matter. Who is that? I'm sorry? Who's on the Galaxy A14? Ma'am, with the black shirt and the glasses.
Tamia Russell.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna put you on mute, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Who's on the Moto G Stylus 2222?
Carrie Hahn.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on mute as well. Thank you. We're on the record in the matter of Briarcliff versus Lakia Lee. File number 22-04351 LT. Council appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Norman Woody, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, and Ms. Leak is present via Zoom. This is a hearing set for non-payment of rent. How are we proceeding, counsel?
Your Honor, I'm pleased to report the parties reached a conditional dismissal in this matter. The parties agree that on or before April 30th, Ms. Leak will pay rent to retain possession in the amount of $65,1825, court costs of $168.77, for a total amount of $6,687.02. We discussed her rights in her MCR 4.201, after which she agreed to allow me to consent to me signing her name on her behalf if I may approach with the document.
You may. Ms. Leak, is what Mr. Woody indicated on the record your understanding of how you're proceeding?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I have here a consent order for conditional dismissal, states that you're going to pay or before April 30th, the amount of $6,518.25 or plus $168.77 for a total amount of $6,687.02. That's accurate, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you understand that you have to give up rights in order to enter into this agreement?
I do.
Okay, so you have the right to be represented by an attorney, which you were advised of that right back on March 15th. Are you giving up your right to be represented by counsel today?
I am.
You also have the right to proceed to trial in this matter. Are you going to waive your right to trial in order to enter into conditional dismissal today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you recognize as well that partial performance under this agreement will not satisfy. If you want the case to remain dismissed, you would need to perform fully, meaning paying this amount by April 30th. You understand that?
I completely understand.
Do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay, and you've given Mr. Woody permission to sign your name to this agreement?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, you have 3 business days from today to return to the court. If you leave here and determine you misunderstood the rights that you're waiving in order to enter into this agreement, you can request to have it set aside and we can set it for hearing. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
any additional matters for the record, council?
Nothing for plaintiff. No.
Thank you, you're all set, Ms. Lee. Is that
Thank
all?
you. Have a blessed day.
Same to you, I think that's all.
I got a default to submit on the last.
The lingua?
Yeah.
Is Rita Lingua here?
Can I leave? Am I leave?
Yes, you're free to go, thank you.
Thanks.
So,
That's all we have, thank you.
thanks, I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, have a good one.
You too.
We're on the record in the matter of Raw Realty LLC versus Wilfred Magonica and Camden Anseline Kamel, file number 23-00375 SP. Appearance for the record.
Raymond Maskey appearing on behalf of the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Thank you, and we do have a Kanja Sintish, also known as a Camden Kamel, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you're without counsel today. Today was the date and time set for a hearing on a land contract forfeiture. Mr. Mashni, did you all come to an agreement?
Yes, she is willing to give a deed in lieu of the forfeiture. The problem is I need a default against the other defendant. He did not appear. He was here at the last hearing in March and did not appear today.
Okay, default against Wilfred will be granted for failure to appear.
Okay, and then if we could just get a week or two adjournment or control date, I think I can get a deed in lieu of forfeiture, and we're going to give her a $500 payment for that deed. We will get that accomplished. I don't want to have to take a judgment against her. I'd just rather have a control date.
Okay, so you need a couple weeks for a control date?
Yes, please.
April 26th at 1:30.
1:30?
Yeah.
April 26th at 1:30.
Okay, and Kanja, can I get a number to contact you, or so we can
Mine?
yes, I can schedule, or does my client has your number?
I need that.
He has your phone number? Does my client have your phone number to contact you?
Yes.
Okay, I will get a hold of you and schedule this for you to sign the deed. Thank you.
It's April 26th at what time?
At 1:30.
Okay, thank you.
And I will submit that default judgment, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Sintish, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, you're all set then. Thank you, Mr. Mashni.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sintish. Okay, let's see. We're on the record in the matter of Huron Development LLC versus Amania Baker, file number 23-00380 LT. Council appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Ryan Wojcik, PA4535 on behalf of the plaintiff.
I can't hear him. We can't hear you, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I apologize. Ryan Wojcik, PA4535 on behalf of the plaintiff.
Thank you. And then Amania Baker is present via Zoom without counsel today. Today is the date for non-payment of rent. Did the parties come to a resolution at all?
Yes, Your Honor. I did have a chance to speak with Ms. Baker, and I believe the parties have agreed to a consent judgment of possession only. Be happy to place those terms on the record if the court would prefer.
You can do so at this time.
Thank you. Again, this is a consent judgment of possession only. Rent to retain in this matter is agreed to be $3,278, cost of $165.83, for a total redemptive amount of $3,443.83. The defendant is to pay that amount in full or vacate by April 24th, 2023, Again, no money judgment is issued. I did advise the defendant of her MCR 4.201I rights, and I do have permission to sign her name to a judgment to that effect.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Is what Mr. Wojcik saying accurate, or is to your understanding of how you're going to proceed?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to enter a consent judgment today for possession only. You're agreeing to pay the amount of $3,278 plus $165.83 for a total of $3,443.83, or vacate by April 24th, 2023, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you understand that you have to give up your right to be represented by counsel in order to do that?
Do I understand? No,
Yeah,
not
you have a
really.
right to be represented by counsel in this matter. In order to enter into agreement, you have to waive that right. Is that what you want to do today?
Yeah.
Okay, and you also have to give up your right to have a trial, because you had a right to have a trial in this matter. Are you willing to waive your trial right in order to enter into a consent judgment?
Yeah.
Is anybody threatening you or making any promises to you to get you to waive those rights? I can't hear you.
No.
Okay, you have 3 business days from today. If you leave here and determine that you misunderstood any of those rights, you can come back to the court and request to have this judgment set aside. You would have to articulate to the court how it was you misunderstood your rights, okay?
Okay.
Okay, lastly, did you give Mr. Wojcik permission to sign the consent judgment on your behalf?
Yes, I did.
Okay, do you have any questions for the court at this time, Ms. Baker?
No, I don't.
Thank you. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
No, Your Honor, that should be it for me today. I wish you the best, Ms. Baker, and thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you both. Have a good one.
You too.
Okay, I don't see Carrie Hahn on my. Oh, she was supposed to be at 3:30. Got it. Who is the attorney here? Alex Tolman.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You're here on behalf of FR Lansing, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, I do see Carrie Hahn here. Did you want to meet with her privately?
Yes, we can.
Ms. Hahn, do you have an attorney? Okay, I'll put you in a private meeting room and we'll see if you can come to resolution on this.
Your Honor, could you put Melissa Storball in there as well? She's the property manager.
Okay, Ms. Hahn, if you can unmute because you're shaking your head and I don't know what that means. Ms. Hahn, I need you to unmute your device.
Sorry, I was trying to find them.
Okay.
They've offered me, they keep emailing me offers. Their ledgers are incorrect, and I'm not gonna reconcile on anything in that behalf.
Okay, so you want to proceed with the hearing. Give me just a moment. And then Tamia Russell is here. Is there anybody here on behalf of Mr. Cyber? We're on the record in the matter of Edgewood Villas LDHA versus Tamia Russell, file number 22-03866 LTE. Ms. Russell is present here in the court. Today was the date set for a hearing. That hearing was scheduled for 3:30. It's currently 3:51. No one has appeared on behalf of Edgewood Villas. And so this case is dismissed. You're all set, Ms. Russell. You're muted, ma'am. Can you unmute for me?
What exactly does that mean?
That means that they failed to appear and to make this case proceed. So the court is dismissing the case for lack of progress.
So
there's no one here on behalf of the plaintiff.
So I give them more money or I don't?
You're still residing in their property. If you haven't paid your rent, they can still start a new eviction process against you. But as to this one, it's being dismissed, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're back on the record in the matter of FR Lansing versus Carrie Hahn. Counsel, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You can proceed with your case.
Yes, I have Melissa on the line. She's property manager. Melissa, if you could unmute.
My video has been blocked and it says that it's being done by the court. Oh, there we go. Okay. Thank you.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. You can proceed, Ms. Tolzman.
Thank you, Your Honor. Melissa, can you state your full name for the record?
My name is Melissa Storball.
And are you a manager at FR Lansing?
I am.
And are you familiar with the rental accounts of the defendant?
I am.
And the defendant signed a lease with FR Lansing?
That's correct.
To your knowledge, has the residence been kept in reasonable repair and fit for its intended use?
Yes.
To your knowledge, is the defendant in the military, incompetent, or under the age of 18?
No, ma'am.
Are you seeking a judgment for possession?
Yeah. Yes.
Was the defendant provided with a copy of the ledger for
Yes.
this request at the last hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
That current ledger reflects a total amount due for rent and other fees such as pet, trash, tax, site maintenance, and late fees that shows a total of $3,883.75. Does that sound accurate?
That sounds correct.
And court costs of $167.79. Does that sound correct?
Yes, ma'am.
For a total of $4,051.54. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
And that's the ledger figures that the defendant was provided with as well, correct?
Yes.
And are you requesting a writ to issue if this amount is not paid within 10 days?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Hahn, did you want to question Ms. Storball at all?
Well, I sent you a copy of the ledger that I was sent. They claim to take the 242 off, which is why this case even
I'm sorry,
started.
are you asking Ms. Storball any questions, or are you asking me a question?
Well, why is there 2 fees for $169 for lawyer costs? What is the maintenance fee of $50 that was added on in February?
Okay, one question at a time. Did she send a ledger here? I don't see it. Did we get an email?
I sent it to the email. To your email, Your Honor. Along with
Okay,
pictures
Ms.
of
Storball,
my...
I think there was a couple of questions.
Yep,
You want to know about the attorney fees?
So the attorney fees were added on. I think Ms. Hahn was confused. So she had a previous conditional dismissal. She fulfilled that. After the fact, we were billed for attorney fees and we added those to her account balance. We do not accept partial payments. So when the next month's rent came due in October, she owed us, sorry, Your Honor, give me 1 second and I'll look at it. In October, she actually needed to pay the, it was $788.61 and she only brought in the amount of $508, I believe was her money order. I repeatedly tried to call her. Finally, I had to mail her the money order back because I cannot hold on to checks or money orders. And we have to have full payment. Since then, she has not tried to make another payment or resolve the issue. We have agreed to remove all the attorney fees except for the one for the filing of this case. So that kind of sums up the legal fees. The site maintenance fees is for violations that the residents received. When they receive 3 violations for the same issue and do not correct it, they receive a letter that informs them they will be charged for the violations not being corrected. And this happens quite often with Ms. Hahn. So that's what that was for.
Okay. Any other questions, Ms. Hahn?
Yeah, I'd like to know what the violation was and when I received any paperwork. And then also, I never
One
even
question at a
was,
time. One question at a time.
So
Yes,
the
ma'am.
Hold your
violation,
thought.
the violation was to clean up your dog feces. That is, your whole yard is covered in, where we had to go fix water leaks at the home, and the vendors and the maintenance men were covered in it, and we've asked multiple times. So the final letter was sent on January 13th, stating that this had to be done and had to be cleaned up by the 16th, or you would be charged $50 every 2 weeks until you complied. So that was that violation.
You
Your
said there
Honor,
was a
that
letter
was-
there was a letter that was sent, you said, stating that?
Yes, ma'am,
Okay, do you have a copy of that letter?
I do.
Ms. Tolzman, can you get that to the court?
Yes, Melissa, could you send that to me?
Yep, I just need your email to Alex.
Alex Tolzman at Klug, K-L-U-G, tax, T-A-X, lawfirm.com.
How do you spell your last name? Is it, sorry, T-O-L?
Z-M-A-N.
That's what I thought. I wanted to be correct. At K-L-U-G.
T-A-X, like Texas, lawfirm.com.
Okay, I'll do that right now.
Okay, and you can answer your next question, Ms. Hahn.
you claim that you're waiving the other lawyer fees, but it's crossed off on the ledger, but still carried down to October.
What was that, Carrie? I'm sorry.
In September, you guys crossed off the 242 for the lawyer fees, saying that you were gonna waive that, but the balance is carried down into October.
Yeah, so if you look at the final sheet that Sarah Reed had sent you, those are deducted from those amounts. She showed you all the math breakdown and that it's removed from the final balance.
What's the 292 that was added on?
Those were legal fees.
More
So then
legal
those
fees.
were removed also. We removed all legal fees except for this case.
And
Current-
there's two filing fees for the 169.
She took those out. If you look at the math, she removed that and added the correct amount. That was for the wrong. I was only charged you 165.75 and it should have been 167.79. So she corrected that.
So you brought me to court for the 242. Now you're gonna waive it, but charge me late fees this whole time. When
Well,
I've
we're
had the
waiving it to resolve this issue.
And what about?
Is it, and can you address the issue as to the late fees? Let her respond as to the late fees.
So the late fees, you have not attempted to pay since October, so your payments are late, Carrie, and those are not willing to, we're not willing to waive those.
She hasn't attempted to pay rent, you mean, since
October. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
You refused my payments.
No, you've only came in and tried to pay one time in October. You've never tried to pay since.
And you stated if it wasn't paid in full, which included the 242, you would not accept it.
In October, that is correct. And now we're to the point where we want to resolve this case and so we're willing to waive those fees at this time.
In waiving those fees, are you gonna take me to court after this, like you've stated to other tenants and mutual friends
No,
of
they
ours?
can't, we're not gonna answer that question. They're waiving the fees. I have a question though about the fees. There was a conditional dismissal on these other files.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm asking Ms. Strobel.
So the conditional dismissal, she had one. Let me pull up the notes for her account real quick, Your Honor, so I can just give you accurate information. The previous one, I'm sorry, I wasn't the manager at the time, so I'm trying to research and find what happened with that one.
Excuse me.
So where did it go? It looked like she was in court in June for the previous conditional dismissal, and I know she got caught up on that one.
Okay, so my question is, she had a conditional dismissal and she was supposed to pay an amount?
Yes.
In order to, okay, and that amount didn't include court fees?
It didn't include these court fees that we were billed after the fact, yes.
That was the lawyer fees that you're billing me for now. And it did include that.
No, I have the bills here and it wasn't included in the conditional dismissal.
Okay, there's an 8 hour.
I'm sorry. I lost you.
I think we all did.
Alex, what's your email again? It won't let it go through.
I found that your email from Sarah, so I'll shoot you one. So
okay, perfect.
On there.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, Zoom only gives you 8 hours to be in there and then they boot us.
Oh, okay.
Got it. Okay, I didn't hear your response. Did it include attorney's fees?
So this was a attorney bill we received after the conditional dismissal and we added those to the ledger.
And then the conditional dismissal, that was part of the condition.
Okay.
With the 2 lawyers. I paid that amount in full that day. And I never received a bill for it, if that even matters at this point.
Okay. Any other questions for Ms. Strobel?
Well, I did remove the feces when their maintenance people showed up and they moved my shed. They went in my shed illegally, moved my shed and broke my skirting and have not
Is this a
came to
question
repair
for
it.
Ms. Strobel? Or
Yeah,
are you giving testimony? Okay.
Are they gonna repair it?
Ms. Hahn, we did not break your skirting. I have multiple pictures of your home. That is, your skirting is in complete disarray. It still is to this day. And so that didn't happen. And the feces were not cleaned up. They're not even cleaned up currently.
Yes, they are.
But I'm short staffed, so I haven't been able to get out and do violations.
Okay, I have another question. So the late fees were accrued after her rent was not accepted. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
when she tried to pay in October, yes. Mhm.
Okay, so she tried to pay in October, her rent was not accepted, so a late fee was attached. And your testimony is that she's not tried to pay since October?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and the reason that she gave, or the dispute, I guess, that she had at the time was the attorney fees?
Yes.
Okay. Any redirect of your client, Ms. Tolzman?
Briefly, Your Honor. The previous legal fees were removed from the ledger, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And the only fees that you are requesting are the fees for this current case, correct?
That is correct.
Did the defendant receive notice of the lease violation?
Yes.
When did the tenant receive notice of that violation?
It was issued on January 13th.
And the defendant has not paid or attempted to pay rent since October of 2022, is that correct?
That is correct.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. You calling any other witnesses, ma'am?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Hahn, did you want to give your own testimony or call any witnesses at this time?
My witness is unavailable due to illness, but like I said, it's simple. I sent you pictures of my.
If you're gonna give testimony, I gotta give you an oath, okay?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what did you want to share with the court, ma'am?
This has been a reoccurring issue. I did clean up the feces the day that her maintenance people came. They called me, told me I had an hour to empty my shed so they could move it to do a pipe repair underground. They showed up within that hour, went in my shed on their own without permission and moved it. I sent you pictures in the email showing my yard that was cleaned up and where they damaged my skirting and that my shed is still not moved. It shows the loader marks in the yard and everything. The only reason I have not paid rent is because she didn't accept it in October, and I'm disagreeing with the 242 for the lawyer fees from the last time we went to court. I went through the ledger that they sent me, which I sent you a copy of, and it does not add up to the way that they're explaining.
Okay, I have a copy of the ledger that you provided. I see where there's some writing. Is that your writing or their writing?
That's their writing, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so they say that you owe $3,900 in rent. You're saying that's not accurate?
Well, they have all the late fees in there too, where she wouldn't accept any of my rent anyway.
Well,
But
the
I
late
have
fees
all.
are at the bottom for $240.
Correct.
No? So the rent alone, they're saying that you owe, how much do you pay in rent, ma'am?
$508.
And you have not paid since September?
I paid September's. She sent back October's. Yes, I have all of the rent though.
Okay.
And she's been harassing me.
Rent is actually $518, Your Honor.
The rent is how much?
It's $518. Oh, no, I'm sorry. She is correct. Most people's are $518. I'm sorry for her.
I was gonna say, yeah, her ledger says
Yep.
508.
I'm sorry for that. I read it wrong.
Did her rent go up to 528?
No.
No, ma'am, she doesn't have an increase at this time.
Okay, why does the ledger reflect 528 on February and March?
Let me just look over this real
And April.
quick. Yes, sorry. Yes, I thought that was correct. There was a rental increase at the beginning of the year, and she was included in that increase. So her rent is $528 a month.
Okay, she was notified of that?
Yes, we send out certified mail for rental increases up 30 days or more in advance.
Okay, and then there's a pet fee of $80 that's past due. Are you disputing that, Ms. Han?
No, ma'am.
Okay, it says trash of $120 past due. Are you disputing that?
My only dispute with that is that it's different prices for different tenants, and I don't understand that.
Well, I can't just, what do you mean it's different prices for different tenants? You mean the trash is, or what do you
Yeah,
mean?
the trash fee.
That is
Okay,
not correct.
what did your lease say that you were supposed to pay?
Well, we are on a 30-day month-to-month lease. But I won't dispute the $15. I will pay it. That's fine. I just want to know why it was different for other people.
It's not, Carrie. It's $15 for every household here.
Okay, and so your dispute, ma'am, was just the fact that you were being charged attorney's fees. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then because of the attorney's fees that was added when you attempted to make your rent payment in October, it was not received because it was not in full. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am. Which I was never
Okay.
even billed for the attorney fees, so I didn't know about it till I turned in my rent.
Okay, and so why did you not pay your rents in November or up to date?
Because she won't accept the rent. I have a post-it note that she stuck to the money order she mailed back saying that she would not accept any partial payments. So unless I paid the $242, she wouldn't accept any payment.
Okay, and what was your dispute about the attorney's fees?
They were from the last time we went to court when we had a conditional dismissal.
When you went to court for the conditional dismissal and you were told the amount that you would need to pay to satisfy that agreement, did they tell you that you would have to pay attorney's fees?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you want to question her, Ms. Tolzman?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you can make argument. Ms. Tolzman, if you have argument, you can do so at this time.
Yes, Your Honor. The tenant has disputed the rental amounts, the legal fees. Those legal fees have been removed from the ledger. That has been communicated with the defendant as well at this hearing. At the last hearing we have, and it's my understanding that the attorney of record for this case has communicated with her in between these two hearings as well. Those fees have been removed. And she still has not attempted to make a payment since October. Although the payment in October was not accepted because it was a partial amount, she has made no attempt to pay rent since that payment or communicate, as far as I understand, with the property about paying the rent portion. The ledger, I'm sorry, has been broken down. So there shouldn't be a dispute about the amounts owed at this point, as those legal fees have been removed, and the only court costs that the property is seeking for a judgment at this point are those associated with this case that are allowable under Michigan law.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Han, did you want to make any argument?
Well, only she said that the $50 maintenance fee was because of dog feces, and it's from February, and she states that it's still continuing. So that's contradictory in my opinion. I did take care of the dog feces before the workers came in. It took them 2 weeks to get the contractors in to begin with. I just want my shed moved back, and I want her to quit harassing me. I pay my rent all the time. I have since 2017 when I moved in. I'm disabled, which she has stated to mutual friends of ours that she doesn't care. And she's defamated my character by calling me a lowlife and threatening to continue to take me to court. She's drove by and asked why I have people working on my hot water heater. I don't think I own this trailer. That's not her business. she's not responsible for that.
Okay, any additional argument, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'm reviewing the ledger. I tend to agree with Ms. Hahn that she should not have had legal fees tacked on to this as part of a conditional dismissal from previous cases whereby she thought she satisfied the terms of that. And now that we have carryover from multiple cases, and it sounds like her rent was not accepted because she had that dispute in the legal fees, and so she didn't pay the full amount. She states that she tried to make a payment in October that was returned. And so because of that, she didn't make any attempts to make a payment going further. And so as to the removal of the legal fees, I think that that was appropriate, and I'm appreciative that the plaintiff has done that, but the plaintiff should have removed those late fees because they refused to take her rent payment because of that. And so, and I don't believe they should have been tacking on legal fees from another matter that was already dismissed, and she was not abreast of the fact or advised of the fact that she would have another bill forthcoming after she thought she paid what was due to satisfy those other cases. So with that being stated, judgment will be granted in favor of the plaintiff, but minus the late fees. And this amount here that I think is in the handwriting, is that your handwriting, Ms. Tolzman? Is that the $4,051? That's the amount that subtract the late fees, correct?
It's not my handwriting. I believe it's Attorney Sarah Reed, the attorney of record. But yes, that the $4,51.54. That's that total with all the fees and the court costs. So that would be accurate.
Okay, I'm going to subtract the late fees, and that's the balance that's due.
That includes the lawyer fees on that.
That's
Put
court
that
costs
amount.
for this file, though.
No, it has the 242 from the lawyer fees they were originally trying to charge me is still
I
included in
don't
that
see that.
4,000.
I don't see that here.
It was
I
carried
see
down from
rent $3,900, pet fee $80, trash $120, tax $24, maintenance $50, and then a late fee of $240.
it was carried down from September where they crossed it off. The balance is carried down into October, Your Honor.
If you look above where it says ledger and it started out at 4584.68, there's 3 different legal fees amounts that were removed, and one of them is the 242.
I see that, and it says that their balance then was $3,883.75, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see.
And then the 292 that they added for legal fees for this case.
I don't see 292. What are you talking about?
It's towards the bottom of the ledger. She spoke about it a few minutes ago.
240 or the 292 was
Yes, ma'am.
subtracted. That's what that means.
Okay.
They subtracted 292, they subtracted 242.86, and it looks like they subtracted 165.75. However, if you look at and that's what leaves the $3,833.75. However, they did attack $167.79 for the current case. That's accurate?
Yes, Your
Okay, for a total of $4,051.54.
Okay.
You understand that now, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. So do I still pay the filing fees for this case too?
That's included in the court cost.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
And so, let's see.
And the court has a,
So I'm from that 4,051.54 balance, I'm only subtracting 240, ma'am. So you are gonna be responsible for paying $3,811.54, okay?
I gave the court an escrow payment.
That is correct. There's a payment of $508 in escrow.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that will be released to the plaintiff. And so that'll leave you a balance of $3,303.54, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any additional matters for the record today?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, I just want to confirm that we all have the same math here, $3,303.54.
Correct, because the amount of $508 that's held in escrow will be released to the plaintiff.
Perfect. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any additional matters?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're all set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.